Alright, you guys, let's talk ROH. We did start off with Dalton Castle versus Slim J. Now, Dalton, he's being a little more aggressive with this match. He still wants to have an opportunity to go against Samoa Joe for the ROH TV title since he feels like he was cheated out of his opportunity. He did not have Brandon and Brett with him like he normally does have. They're getting ready for their match with Samoa Joe and Stoltzy Hathaway, so they were not there. Now, we did have some other boys. They were known as the Chickens that were there with Dalton. Now, Dalton takes the win here, but I really do feel like Dalton is super talented and he is a crowd favorite. He's someone that could easily be on both ROH and AEW. Like, I don't mind seeing him on Dynamite or seeing him on Rampage, Collision, or whatever. He's someone that would fit just right on in. Slim J too. The whole Trustbuster thing, they need a little bit of help with their, characters or whatever, but a lot of these guys will fit really well over there, and I hope they get an opportunity to be featured on AEW TV more so that people are going to want to buy the ROH subscriptions to see these guys, so that would be another great way to help market ROH. Now, next we have Tony Nese. He's with Mark Sterling. They're letting everyone know that this match that Tony's supposed to have with Pat Buck is not happening because everyone over in South Carolina has a obesity issue and it needs to be addressed, and that's more important than the match. So they're going to be having some type of intervention and some training going on rather than having a match. Now, next we do have the Iron Savages, and I'm not going to lie, I did not catch the names of their opponents. And because of that, I thought it was going to be a squash match. Now, I'm not familiar who they were in the ring with, but what I can say is that Iron Savages have improved tremendously. And if this would have been a squash match, this will definitely kill their momentum. So I'm glad that that's not what happened here. But I do see here that they are working really well together so they can have great chemistry in the ring. And right now, we do have Aussie Open that is holding the tag titles. So I can see them being a contender in the upcoming weeks, probably maybe even after All In or whatnot, since, they got all that stuff going on. But I do see the improvement here, and I can't wait to see how much better ROH tag division is going to be. It still needs a lot of work, but Iron Savages are definitely improving, so watch out for these guys. I think we're going to see something big with them soon. So up next we have Zicky Dice and Movie Mike versus the Infantry. And the Infantry, they come out with Trish Adora, and I like seeing the three of them together. They look really great together. Now, the Infantry has been pretty much in a losing streak. They've only won like 2 matches since ROH has started back months ago. So I do believe that this is to help build up the tag division. So seeing them take this win was not surprising. But they did not have a squash match like I thought they were going to have. So that helps them look good since we got to see them in the ring much longer. Now, we do have an interview with Layla Hirsch and Lexi. Now, Lexi's asking, like, what's next for her? And Layla's like, you know what? I want to go after Athena and that title. But then Maria comes out, and Maria is like, girl, you need to build up your confidence. And once you build up your confidence, then you can go for Athena. And she's suggesting that, she'll be there to help her, but she's going to be watching her in her matches. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Maria being not only with just the Kingdom, but for Layla Hirsch and also Cole Carter as well, since she's been keeping her eye out on him. So up next, we have Lee Moriarty versus Andrew Everett, and this was a good match. But there was a problem here. Andrew is excited, so his pace is definitely faster than Lee's. Lee, he has a more slower, more calculating pace, and I feel like maybe it's all the excitement, maybe it's nervousness, why Andrew was being a little bit too fast-paced, but they do still have a great match. Now, Lee Moriarty obviously take the win, and I'm kind of sad that he was not with Big Bill because he's normally always with Big Bill. But Big Bill is obviously doing other things right now with Brian Cage. So I don't know if they're broken up, but this is the first time in like forever that I've seen them not together. Now, while I did enjoy this match, and I do think that Andrew Everett has a lot of potential, but one of the things that you got to keep in mind here when it comes to wrestling is like a dance. And if you are moving too fast and your partner is in a really good pace, now you're gonna look like y'all shouldn't be dancing together. So it kind of gave me that type of feel, but I do feel like he needs to take his pacing down a bit, and that will help with him having great chemistry. If he does that, then I do think that we could possibly see him more often in ROH. So up next, we have Tony Nese versus Pat Buck. Now, at first, Tony Nese and Mark Sterling is trying to get the crowd to go through intervention and teach them some workout tips. And the crowd are actually doing jumping jacks and exercise in the audience. It's hilarious. Now, when Pat comes out, he got like, I don't know how to describe it, but I didn't really care for his gear. But it's like a mix of Star Wars, but he also have the Create a Pro logo on his gear. It's a little bit of a mess or whatever, but I haven't seen Pat in the ring in a long time. Now, Pat usually comes out whenever there's a brawl coming on, and he's usually coming out with the security guards to come and break things up. But this is the first time he's ever had a match with AEW or ROH, so this is his debut match here. And it was really, really great. And I'm glad he went against Tony Nese because they have really great chemistry with each other. And throughout the match, we were getting We Want Waffles chants. Yes, so with pro wrestling, you get We Want Waffles chants. So it was really fun. And I do feel like we're probably going to see Pat again. Definitely not on a regular basis. But I do feel like he still got it in the ring. Now, yes, he's much smaller than the last time he's been in the ring and lots of red hair, but he's doing really, really great. So it's cool for him to come out here and there and help out with the roster. Now, I was surprised to see Tony Nese take this win. I really thought Pat was going to take it, mostly because Tony is really on a losing streak and he's usually there to help other people look good. So I was surprised to see this, but Pat does a really great job. I do recommend checking this out though, because I do think that he'll probably impress some of you guys if you've never seen him in the ring. I really did enjoy this. Now, next, we have the Workhorsemen backstage with Lexi, and they are so upset that they have been losing pretty much all their matches. Now, these two guys are super, super talented, and I really do believe that they probably should not be a tag team, but they do work really, really well together. Now, while they're talking about how they want a chance of getting some tag team gold, here comes Prince Nana and Gates of Agony, and Prince Nana is telling him, look, you can go against Toa Leona and Khan. If you beat them, then you guys can pick up anybody to be your partners and go after the 6-man tag championships. And I'm like, okay, that's a cool idea. I'm digging it. But then Prince Nana was like, if you guys can win. And he just started laughing in their faces. When I tell you, I just fell out because I'm like, Prince Nana, he is so freaking funny. I love him. He is literally on every freaking show. ROH, AEW, you see him on Collision, you'll see him on Rampage, you'll see him on Dynamite. He is busy, booked and busy, and that's how I like it. So now we have this tag team match that's supposed to take place later on tonight, and it was so good. So up next, we have Rachel Ellering versus Athena. Rachel is the daughter of Paul Ellering, who was the manager for the Road Warriors. So we've seen her before, I believe in WWE as well. But she has made her ROH debut a couple of months ago. And this time, I do think Athena did bring better out of her. So this was much better than her debut match. However, I feel like we could be seeing so much better with the women's division. So I didn't too much care for this. This was the better match of all the women's matches for this episode, but still, there's still something missing with everyone else other than Athena right now. And ROH, y'all gotta fix it. Anyway, next match was probably my favorite match of the night, Gates of Agony versus the Workhorsemen. Now, I thought it was gonna be a squash because I think the last two times we've seen Gates of Agony, it's literally been squash matches and we don't really get the best out of them. However, I do think these two teams got the best out of each other and I enjoy this so much. Now, Toa Leona, this guy is like a walking tank. Every time they did something to him, it just seems like he was just too much stronger than everyone. And we get Khan, who's being so cocky in the ring. So I like that because it brings some personality to him. And then we have Prince Nana, who's ringside, always running his mouth. He is so freaking funny. This match was so great. And I feel like both teams brought the best out of each other. Now, I do think that the first quarter of this match was pretty much for the Gates of Agony, and then from there is where you really got to see these guys really put their best in, and it was really enjoyable. Now, one of the crazier part in this match is we do have Gates of Agony, they're ringside, and here comes Anthony Henry. He sits on the second rope so that JD Drake, big JD Drake, can do a tope suicida onto Gates of Agony. I could not believe it. And guess what? He did it, and I was in awe. And the crowd were marking out because sometimes big guys, they don't seem like they can do things like this, and some of them can. And he was able to do it, so that was pretty cool. Now, I really enjoy this. Now, Gates of Agony, they do have a streak going on. I get it. But I would have been totally fine with Anthony Henry and JD Drake taking this win. And unfortunately, that did not happen. And I want to say that's okay. If they don't go after the six-man tag, that's fine. They could still continue to go as tag partners and go after the tag titles later on. That's cool too. But damn, if they would have won, that would have been cool. If they would have picked a partner, it would have been Shane Taylor, because they've actually done trios with Shane in the past few months or whatnot. They work good together, but they could probably get a better partner. I would rather have Shane Taylor doing his Shane Taylor production thing, which I don't know why they're not doing. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, great match. Probably my favorite match of the night. Everybody worked well. So good here, and I just really want to see better opportunities for Anthony Henry, better opportunities for JD Drake. There is no excuse, ROH. These guys don't need to be jobbing to everyone that comes in the ring. They are showing how great they are, and they definitely deserve better opportunities. Definitely check this match out. So next we have Cole Carter. He is talking to Lexi, and Lexi is asking, like, why is Maria watching your matches? And his explanation is that Maria probably likes him. Now Maria pops up and she's like, you know what? That's a cute reason for you to suggest, but that's not the case. And she suggests that she's going to keep watching him. And she does watching him later on that night. Now, I ain't going to lie. I did doze off with these next few matches or whatever, but I went back and checked them out. We did have Angelica Riss versus Layla. This was predictable. Layla Hirsch took the win. I don't like the predictability. That's what's killing me here. Maria was watching that match as well. I'm wondering if they're going to be having some kind of partnership. Now, we do have Cole Carter versus Titus Rex. And Titus is really talented. However, this was about making Cole Carter look good. And he does look good here. He takes the win. And Maria is watching that match as well. And to be honest, the predictability is killing me once again. Now, we do have Billy Starks versus Robin Renegade. Robin had a match last week that I didn't care for, but this time I really saw such a difference with her in the ring. And sometimes it really matters who you in the ring with, because some people bring better out of you than others. So she had really great chemistry with Billy Starks here. Now, every time something happens, here's Caprice and Ian talking about, "Oh, she's only 18 years old." And I'm like, what kind of excuse is that? After Billy takes the win, both of the sisters attack her and they're still crying. She's only 18 years old. She doesn't deserve this. Well, if she's 18 years old and don't deserve this, she should probably find something else to do, Caprice. Now, here comes Athena. Athena comes and she beats up the Renegade Sisters. And then she goes to Billy Starks and she's about to smash her head into the women's title. But instead, she shows some mercy and she says that she wants to fight Billy. So she leaves her alone. I was really surprised by this. So she's like, I'm guessing she's looking at it as in, you know what, you just had your little match or whatever. I'll leave you a little fresh for me to go after. They don't announce if this is happening next week, but it looks like she wants to have a match with Billy. So I do think we're going to get a great match out of those two. So now we have Josh Woods. He is backstage with Mark Sterling, and Mark is telling him, "Look, I don't know what you're about to say, but if you're going to leave the varsity athletes, I think it's a big mistake." And Josh says that he's best on his own and he doesn't want to have to partner up with anybody anymore. He knows what he's capable of doing and he wants to go solo. However, it still seems like Mark is going to be like representing him still, but he's not going to be working, doing like tags or trios or anything with anyone else. So he's by himself now, but he still have Mark by his side. And Mark get him a match with Silas Young for next week, and I do think that's going to be a really great match. I really like Silas Young. He is super talented. Joshua is obviously talented as well, so I do have high expectations when it comes to that next week. Now, main event time, and it's for the semifinals for the TV title eliminator whatever tournament. Is Shane Taylor and Gravity. Oh my god, Gravity, I don't know. Anyway, this thing was like, I want to say 5 minutes, maybe 7 minutes. And Shane Taylor ends up winning. The match I didn't find too interesting. The chemistry just not really there for you to enjoy. So I'm kind of glad that this was short. What they should have did was have this match somewhere else on the card rather than for it to be last. I would have preferred the match with the Workhorsemen and Gates of Agony to close the show. It would have been so much better. Now, what I do know is that they don't necessarily tape the show the way you see it aired on the app. So they tape it and then they put it together however the hell they want to. And whoever put it together like this, they need to be fired. Anyway, we do have Gravity that gives a Samoan drop to Shane Taylor from the top rope. And that looks scary. And I was like, you know what? Maybe he might win with this. And he doesn't take the win. Anyway, I'm really glad that Shane won this whole damn tournament. It wouldn't have made sense for Gravity to win. He already got his ass handed to him when he went against Samoa Joe a couple of weeks ago on Collision. So I'm glad that he didn't take the win. So now we're going to see Shane Taylor versus Samoa Joe for the TV title. I don't know exactly when. They did not confirm that would even be next week. And Samoa Joe, he better watch out because Shane Taylor says he's going to knock Joe out. So let's see what happened. I'm glad to see two big guys go at it. I don't want to see somebody as small as Gravity go against Samoa Joe. Doesn't make sense. I know we're going to get a great match with these two guys. So whenever they announce that, I'll let y'all know and how it ends up going. Guys, thanks for watching my review. I'll be back next week with ROH.